Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Everyday EDC. My name is Tyler and today I have a review that I have been so long awaiting for. This thing was very near and dear to my heart and I'm gonna do a couple things with this guy and I was truly excited to show this off. This is the Kansept Kryo Titanium and S35VN. So let me first say, and I'll bring it out later on in the video, but let me first say that the Kansept Kryo in D2 and G10 so rocked my socks off that I was like, I have to get the upgraded model, and I don't care that it's the same thing, just a framelock titanium and S35VN, which kind of turns out to be totally different, and I'll get into that in a comparison video that I'm going to do between the two. Doesn't make me like it any less. So let's go over an overview of the knife, my experiences a little bit with it, and then we'll get into the normal review. So first and foremost, this is a black DLC coating on this Kansept Kryo S35VN blade with this drop point and this slight recurve here that everybody says won't annoy you, but when you're stropping it, it does. The recurve annoys you. Just full-blown disclosure there. Some decent jimping, very deep but very rounded off, so you don't have any issue with your thumb on there, but it's locked into place very well. This knife needs a forward finger choil. Absolutely needs one. I keep wanting to do this, and if you could do this, this knife would be like leaps and bounds better. Action is on ceramic ball bearings, and you can spidey flick it very easily. You can use the flipper tab, which I love this flipper tab, get into a second. You can thumb flick it, kind of, but you gotta really get your thumb in there and have some nimble thumbs. And it's not drop shut, but a little bit of wiggle, and it goes down. The detent is very strong, and that's what you guys keep hearing. Listen to this. It just sounds great. An ambidextrous, very cool looking pocket clip that I managed to ding up already. Also titanium, that you can go on either side, which is what ambidextrous means. A frame lock that has an over travel stop, and I will tell you, I don't mind this frame lock at all. I like frame locks. They're probably some of my favorite locking mechanisms just because it's conventional and it just feels nice to have a metal frame lock. That being said, you do not find yourself pressing on this frame to deploy the knife. I think I've even tried to press on the frame before and deploy it, and I still can. It's very good. The flipper tab. Rounded off, no jimping, and this is probably my favorite style flipper tab. It's a little bit more of a pocket pecker, but it's smooth and so comfortable to just launch out there reliably each and every time. Can we fail it? Yes, he can, because he's good at failing. Now, let's go into this. This is titanium. It is contoured slightly. It's hard to see it, but we have these cutouts here and all around. Some nice chamfering with a little bit of contoured titanium. This side is also contoured slightly with some cutouts going on here. The hardware has been anodized blue with a pocket clip that does not match and some standoffs that are silver and one over travel stop screw that is also silver. I'll leave that for later. Irritating. So other than that, ergonomically, it's a very sound knife. There's nothing, I would say, if you were ranking it 1 to 10, there's nothing 10 about the ergonomics. But I would give it a very solid 8.5 to 9. It is very, very good. Fidget factor, pretty darn good too. In your pocket, I haven't had any issues. They do say from time to time that this gets hung up on your pocket. I haven't noticed that, and I wear thick jeans, and my jeans are shredded anyways, but I haven't noticed too much of an issue with that. Billboarding on the blade, not too much. We have Kryo right there. And then we have the Kansept logo, a little tiny serial number, and the S35VN. Realistically, I know people complain about that type of billboarding, but look it. Can you guys see it? I mean, you guys can barely see it unless you're like, oh, there it is. I told you it's billboarded. Right there, guys. Right there. There's billboarding all over the place. I don't know why that. No, it's not that bad. That was an obnoxious little cutscene. Not even a cutscene, that was part of it. All right, so let's get into some specs on this gorgeous Kansept Kryo. Oh, easy. So the overall weight on this guy is coming in at 4.32 ounces. Not too incredibly heavy. It's in between the 4 and 6 ounce mark that a lot of us like to carry. And we probably say that we like to carry that because it has our titaniums and our just heavier materials that make it feel more robust in hand. All right, so this thing's coming in about 8¼ inches long, just shy of 8. The blade length is coming in at just over 3.5, but the cutting edge is right at 3.5 edges. 3.5 edges, 3.5 inches. Anybody want to play spin the bottle? Hey! Pair of 3. Okay, focus. Blade stock thickness, relatively thick, coming in at a whopping 1.55 inches. I'm sorry, 0.155 inches. That's a pretty thick blade stock, and I appreciate that so much more lately. I used to think that I needed the CJRB RIA blade stock or the McKenna blade stock to do anything I need. No, you don't. The robust blade stock makes you feel like you got some heft in your hand. Now, I'm going to counteract that point if I remember to later on. So I have a 0.28 inches as the behind the edge thickness, so it's almost 30 thousandths behind the edge. Let's see here. I'm showing about 20 there. Let's see if I took this measurement wrong. About 25. You know, it probably, that recurve kind of goes deeper, and that's probably what it is because the recurve goes a little bit deeper into the belly of the knife where it's a little bit thicker. So that's going to be a little bit thicker right there. 0.25 inches, you guys know, I'm not mad at. It's, you know, it's just a good working, edge, behind the edge thickness. So here's your scales. They are exactly 1/2 inch thick. Now that is kind of standard. That's, in my opinion, that's pretty good for some contoured scales here. Now, they're not crazily contoured, by the way. They're just slightly contoured, just enough to be comfortable. 140 thousandths thick, or I'm sorry, 1.4 inches thick or tall. What that means is that is about, I would say, 1/4 inch shorter than, say, the PM3, which leads me right. Oh, did you guys see that segue? We're becoming a masterful reviewer. I just went right into the size comparisons. Look at that. I'm obnoxious. So here is your Manix 2 and your PM3. As you can see, a little bit longer than your PM3 and a little bit longer than your Manix 2. The PM3 deceivingly looks almost as long as the Manix 2. That's odd. All right. As you guys can tell, I jacked up my thing there. Here is your QSP Copperhead and your CJRB Mini Feldspar. So your Copperhead is basically dead on for the same stats when it comes to the overall length, and obviously much longer than your CJRB Feldspar. Did I call it QSP earlier? Shame on me. Here is your Savivi Durus and your Savivi Dogma. As you can see, slightly longer than Dogma, not by much, but much longer than your Durus. And I feel like I have to explain this all the time. Why do you show so many size comparisons? Because, you know what? The everyday person does not own this many knives. The everyday person may own only one of these knives, and so they'll be able to compare it, hopefully, with the one that they've seen. I've tried to pick models that people are familiar with. Maybe not this one with the QSP Copperhead, but you should be. This thing is awesome. So, as you can see, this is, it's slightly shorter than your Rat Model 1. Barely. Just maybe by 1/8 inch. And obviously much longer than your Rat Model 2. So let's go into some overall thoughts of my Kansept Kryo. So, I love this knife. I think ergonomically, it's very sound. I think action-wise, just nice. Just really nice. And the detent being strong just makes it work so good. I think it looks amazing. I think it's an amazing looking knife. And I don't care what you guys say. It's getting like a 9 to a 9.5 out of aesthetics. So there's 3 categories right off the bat that are fantastic. Fit and finish. I think the fit and finish is good. We have some milling into both of the titanium scales, if you will, to lighten up the knife, which is pretty cool, and it's pretty heavy. I wish I could show you guys, but I don't really have my freaking... I don't know what happened to my... You know, well, we could do this. See if you guys can see it through here. There. Wow. Oh, that works perfect. Look at that. There's the inside on that side. There's the inside. Oh, gosh, that is... You're welcome. Freaking genius. So, it does have some weight relief there. So, the fit and finish on this is great. Pause. I think this fits into the fit and finish. Couple complaints. This drives me nuts. Absolutely nuts. And I know it's small. It's just the backspacers. Who gives a damn? All my other hardware is blue. Why? Why do I have silver hardware for the backspacers? Or the standoffs, rather. Why do I have a silver screw that you couldn't just anodize blue? Drives me nuts. When I asked them on Instagram, actually. I go, hey guys, why didn't you guys just make this blue, right? And I think I knew the answer before they told me, and they didn't tell me what I thought they were going to tell me. This is what kind of pisses me off. I love Kansept, and I love this knife. Their response to me, very cordial, goes, we wanted to leave it up to the knife owner's decision and their preferences on what colors to make those. What colors to make those? Because I'm going to change the color of that, and it's going to make or break my knife. Those two alone. You're going to let me anodize those, but you made all the other hardware blue. I'm sorry. That is a half-ass cop-out to say it is cheaper not to anodize those because every other knife with standoffs that we have is silver. So we're going to let that go. Just come out and say it. I'm sorry. It was a decision-making process that helped us save $10 off the knife's base value. Say that, and I'm cool with that. Like, I am absolutely cool. Even if you told me it was saving you $1 off of the value, I'm cool with that because you at least are being honest. You're telling me you're saving that for me to make the decision on to make those freaking bright yellow when everything else is black and blue. No. And I know it's small, but to me that is a sign of either the PR person not communicating with the team and just answering the question just all willy-nilly, or it's like almost an insult to my intelligence or our intelligence to say, yeah, we wanted to leave that for your discretion. No. Not only did you half-ass the backspacers, or the standoffs rather, you lied to me about it and said it was my decision on how to anodize them. So I challenged them even further. And I go, and I'm not trying to be that guy that starts shit, I just kind of do sometimes. I go, so, you're leaving it up to that is so great. Thank you for leaving it up to my decision to anodize these. But how do I anodize them? Can you guys give me some tips? And they go, what? They literally like, what? And I'm like, can you guys show me how to anodize these? Since you're leaving it up to my discretion to do these, and that is clearly your point in making this decision on these standoffs. You're saying you're leaving it up to us to anodize them. Can you teach me? Again, I'm being facetious about it. But the point is there, it was a bold face like, I'm going to try to bounce out of this one. I get it. They're not the people to be talking to on this. But don't give me that type of answer. It drives me nuts. And I spent too much time on something so small, you guys are going to be like, that was stupid. But it meant a lot to me because I loved this knife. I absolutely do love it. But that pisses me off. It's just, why would I spend $200 on a knife when they do this? Like, finish it. I'm done. I'm done with that. My other complaint, much more minor. I mean, this color, I don't like this color of the titanium, but I'm guessing that this is probably a heat anode, and these are just actually anodized. I don't know if this hardware's titanium or not either. But tiny complaint, not a big deal. Other complaint. This guy right here, and I've heard it in other videos, and I just noticed it the other day. I was using it, and that guy is sharp. Like, I don't feel it when I'm doing this, but when I rake my hand up on it, that thing hits you pretty hard. And it's not enough to hurt you, cut you, or anything. It's uncomfortable. That's what I should say. Again, not a huge deal there. Don't mind that. I don't mind this blue because it still kind of goes with the dark theme of that. What I do mind is that drives me nuts. Last but not least, I was cutting with this, and I tried to cut something stupid. I tried to cut through some steel wire. Dumb, 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 dumb. And I rolled the edge. And I rolled it immediately. And then it kind of turned into some chips that I now know that sharpening a recurve or stropping a recurve is annoying as hell to do. And I haven't finished it, so I'm not going to do a cut test on here. All that being said, aesthetically, I think this knife is gorgeous. Easily a 9 to 9.5. Action, I think this action pretty darn good. I'm going to give it a 7.5 to 8.5. It's not drop shut, but it's one of those that's like frictionless smooth. Like I can feel it. I should say I can feel that I can't feel it. The QSP Copperhead, and I bring this out because, you know, it's got great action for a $55 knife, but I can feel the grittiness when I'm doing that. This, there's no grit. It's just very, very smooth. You just kind of have to help it down. So action, like I said, 7.5 to 8.5 for a $200 knife. I'm kind of grading it relatively rather. The fit and finish, the overall, well, I want to know the overall look. Ergonomics, pretty darn good. This gets about an 8. It is not great. It is not awful. It's above average. It's, you know, carry profile, just fine. It's not that tall. It's your average looking size knife. Pretty good. Blade, S35VN, slight recurve, cool for cutting, bad for sharpening. And, you know, my only complaints are this. And the reason I spent so much time on this, and I'm not going to spend a bunch more time on it, but the reason I spent so much time on that, guys, is while Kansept's new, I need to know that they're not going to miss those little things. And I need to know that when they do miss those little things in the design that they release, or if they choose to miss those, that they're going to be honest with us. They're going to tell us like it is. Look, it's cheaper to throw these in there because we have this color in every other knife. Fine. That sucks, but I get it. So to me, it's not only, it feels a little deceitful. And I hate saying that. I love Kansept. But that response just felt deceitful to me. Yeah. And it almost felt patronizing in a way. Well, you can do it yourself. All right. Tell me. Show me how. Oh, you can look it up online. Okay. Should come with instructions. If your intent for this, God damn it. If your intent for this was for me to anodize this myself, give me instructions in the box. Give me the tools or send a link that says, hey, we're going to show you how to anodize these, whatever color you want, so you can have pink and purple right there. Sorry. You guys just watched a review of me just criticizing the color of a standoff. And that's kind of what we do as reviewers. But that to me means a lot more. It means a lot more about the knife. I still love this knife. I still love Kansept. And I'm still very excited to get this in hand. It's super, super excited. And I'm going to leave it at that. Can I recommend this knife for $200? I definitely can. If you love this design, there's nothing bad about this knife. Know that you're getting S35VN. Know that you're getting titanium scales. And just an overall good-looking knife with decent ergonomics and decent action for the price. That is all I got. This is the Kansept Kryo in titanium and S35VN. This is the blacked out version with the blue hardware and silver bag spacers. My name is Tyler. You guys stay sharp. Stay safe. Have a great freaking day, guys. Thanks for watching.